Welcome to section 3. I hope the test for section 2 wasn't too crazy. There are some good questions in there, lots of maths, lots of fractions, and how many of these notes can I squeeze in there? Right, now we are in section 3, going back to the music, to the definition of notes and how we name them, and we'll look at intervals as well. Now, intervals is a massive milestone when learning about music theory. It's huge, but without any further ado, let's get into accidentals. Okay. Nothing to do with accidents nor cars, alright? So, now, at some point in our history, we decided to adopt a system called the equal temperament. Now, we have talked about octaves earlier, right? So the octave is a distance between two notes with the same name, either up or down the frequency range, right? So I can go up from C to the C higher, so from C here to C high up, or I can go below. These are all C's. C, 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 C. Alright? Now, imagine this until, the 19th century, more or less. There wasn't a system like this, so essentially you had to tune your instruments based on the scale you wanted, the key you wanted to play on. So that's also how, in Baroque music, a concert, if you went to a concert at the time of Vivaldi or whatnot, they would play the same key, like all pieces will be in the same key for the whole night, right? All in D or all in G, right? And that's because, of course, violins and cellos and whatnot, they don't have frets on the neck. So the instrumentalist, the violinist or the cellist can just move around and control the tuning of their instruments. A piano player, a keyboard player, a harpsichord player can't really do that, right? Because we got the keys in front of us. Or a lute player, you got frets on your lute, and that's it, right? So anyway, at some point we decided, you know what, guys, this is way too confusing. We want to make a decision here, and they decided to split the octave. Now, a very important thing I didn't tell you is that an octave higher will be double the frequencies, double the hertz, right? We measure frequencies in hertz. So a C, the middle C on the piano, 261.63 hertz. An octave higher, it'll be 523.26, double, bang on. If we went an octave lower, that will be simply 261.63 divided by 2, so 130.815. Okay. Right, so this relationship, in the octave is built in nature. Like, these notes share the same name, but also they are multiples of each other, right? There's double frequency when I go up, or I basically divide by 2 going down in the range of frequencies. Okay, so that exists just in the cosmos, in the universe of sounds and vibrations, right? Let's not forget, music is an attempt we human are making to organize the chaos that is, well, chaos, organize what is in nature, which is vibrations of a string, of air when we talk and sing, a vibration of a skin when you play a drum, vibration of air again inside a flute or a saxophone, or a string that gets hit by a little hammer inside the piano, or plucked on a guitar, and so on and so forth, right? Those are vibrations, and those vibrations are just everywhere. There is a vibration in your room just now. Of course, we humans can only hear a certain range. They say 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Of course, as we grow older, we start losing both ends. Well, the higher end very quickly. So I probably now 43, I can probably hear up to 14, 15k tops. But, you know, young students, young kids, teenagers can get to, you know, the 18, 19 hertz, 19k hertz. And then, you know, you start losing. Of course, I've been playing live on very loud stages for years. So, yeah, slowly decay. But that's normal. Okay, anyway, we decided, hey guys, let's split the octave in 12 equal parts. So, from now on, basically, from C to C, there'll be 12 notes. Okay? Now, this course is basically gonna give you the tools to be able to answer to both people that say that notes are 7 and people that say that notes are 12. You'll be able to explain why they are both right and why they are, in their own way, they're both right. Okay? Because of course we learned that the natural notes are 7. Great. So guy number 1, there's only 7 notes. Well, yeah, natural notes are 7, but by adding accidentals in the mix, there's a spelling mistake there. Sorry, guys. And here as well. Good luck. Well, Aristoxenus is right. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so are the remaining 5 unnatural? No, they're not unnatural. We just use accidentals to go in between those, the natural notes. Well, you will see this going through the course, but the natural notes are the white keys on the piano. Don't tell anyone. Alright, so on the piano, if I just press the white ones, you can't see my piano, but here it is. There you go. I've just gone from C to C on all natural notes. So C, E, D, F, G, A, B, C. Okay? Now, let's learn about accidentals. There are 3 accidentals, well, 2 mostly, that change the note, and 1 just cancels out a previous accidental. Because basically within the bar, we learned about bars, right? If I now there are accidentals that are defined at the start of a song. Remember, yes, I want to save the changes this time because there were a couple of spelling mistakes. But remember, for Elise, right? There are some accidentals, but you see, for example, here that D has been sharpened there, but you see this then that brings it down. Actually, there's nothing in the key here because it's in A minor. So bad example. But, again, sometimes you might find some of these flats or sharps at the start, right? In between the clef and the time signature, right? That defines what is in the key. We'll learn very soon when we do the major scales that some scales have accidentals in it, right? C major doesn't, but any other major scale will have either flats or sharps. Okay, cool. Now, what are these things? So the flat is that little B that we put before the note. Why before the note? Because the musician needs to see the alteration before the note, right? Otherwise, it'll be too late. If it was after the note, we'll miss. I definitely would miss the majority of them, as we'd actually read left to right, of course. Now, flat lowers the note by a semitone. All right, so if we stick it next to a G, or in this case, if this was on a treble clef, this will be an A flat, right? Or a G flat in this example. Sharp raises the note up a semitone. Okay, so in this case, again, an A sharp. So, or if we stick it on a C, C sharp. Okay, right. So you can now see how, for example, that note in between C and D. Now, in this example, we are going up, so they're all sharps, but there's also notes in between there, right? As we say here, now C sharp can also be D flat. I can bring it down. Alrighty, so back to our piano example. So if I go here, let's bring up a little piano. Now this is just for a musical typing purpose, but anyway, let's put it this way. Okay, so you see C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C are the white keys, natural notes, and then these black keys are in between these notes. Okay, so that would be C sharp, or also D flat. So C pushed up, C sharp, or D pushed down, flat. Now, there are two couples that are already we're going to call this a half step, right? A semitone. So we split the octave into 12 equal parts called semitones or half steps. Okay. So yeah, between E and F, there is already a half step, and B and C, another half step, right? Any other couple has a note in between them, which is previous note with a sharp alteration, next note with a flat accidental. Okay, now there's also a natural which cancels out. You saw it in For Elise. At some point there was a sharp, and then 2 notes later a natural, which will basically tell the pianist that that particular note is not sharp. It was sharp just a couple of notes earlier. If Beethoven left that, like if Beethoven didn't add this natural, we would have played that second iteration of the note that had been sharpened earlier, sharp. As long as they're within the same bar, basically you put it once, and that note, any other occurrence of that note is altered, right? Then the next bar, you go back to whatever is defined by the key at the start of the song. All right, here we go. Anyway, I don't want to, of course, you can go through the modules here to go through exactly what I'm saying now. Next, this is huge. This is a massive thing. So I'm gonna take a break and come back. Intervals. Right? So this is huge, huge, huge topic. All right. Intervals define the relationship between two notes, right? So the distance between two notes. Now, by now, should be clear the names, the naming of the notes, and also the half step, full step, the fact that between E and F there's a half step, or between B and C there's a half step. Really, really important already. Okay, now here I start talking about our music theory and whatnot. Basically, this is all about what we consider the way to write music and music theory. Right, okay, so basically we're talking about consonance and dissonance, all right? So we start to introduce the concept of perfect intervals, major, minor, augmented, and diminished intervals. Okay, so the terminology here refers to, the fact that an interval can be more or less consonant, kind of less pleasant, or more out of tune, dissonant, and so on. And of course, that has changed over the years. Of course, Vivaldi and Mozart had a different way of approaching to music. Of course, we have expanded our vocabulary. We have included a lot more dissonant and kind of more out sounding chords and melodies, of course, thanks to jazz, thanks to the advancement. Of course, also the idea of having created the equal temperaments helped us creating instruments that can play very well with other instruments. So like we have been able to create huge 80-piece orchestras, or all the electronic music, all the synthesizers and all the rest, etc. All right, so now intervals. Now the name is everything in intervals. Okay, it's all explained here, but CE will always be a third. Okay, and we use this terminology. So just count with your fingers, right? F, if an interval is FB, count literally 1, F, G, 2, A, 3, B, 4. It's a fourth, okay? Now, it might be F triple flat to B quadruple sharp. Okay, so the sound is actually, I don't know, an octave. But naming wise, that is a fourth. It's F, F flat, B sharp. We'll find out soon. It's a sixth in theory, right? Because it's E C. Is this E C? But it's F flat, B sharp. So it's a fourth. It's a. I don't know. Well, we'll see what it is. Okay. Cool. So the name is absolutely everything, right? So look at the name, and then you look at the actual distance in half steps or steps. Okay. So that's rule number one. Then we talked about, octaves, intervals being perfect, major, minor, augmented, or diminished. Okay? Now, unison, fourth, fifth, and octave can be perfect, diminished, or augmented. Now, why are they called perfect? Well, they're called perfect because when you there's many reasons. One is the consonants. So the ratio is made of integers, so there's no decimals or whatnot. But major intervals also pretty neat. A major 6 is 5 to 3, a major third is 5 4, but of course octave is 2 1, fourth is 4 3, and a fifth is 3 on 2. So anyway, also a perfect fourth reversed will be a perfect fifth. A perfect fifth flipped over will be a perfect fourth. So they kind of concatenate perfectly, and there's some sort of mathematical reason. Anyway, just stick to it. Then of course it can be diminished and augmented, so we can use accidentals to again, well, if it's a fourth, right, so that F flat B sharp, it was a fourth, right, even though distance wise it's way more than a perfect fourth. That's actually very, very difficult interval, and let's not even go there. All right, so second, third, sixths, and sevenths can be major, minor, augmented, or diminished. Okay. Cool. So now this, especially thirds, okay, will become very, very, very important when we start building chords. Yeah, because chords are built stacking up notes that are a third from each other. Okay. Cool. Anyway, all explained here. Unison. Now we covered the unison because, of course, a perfect unison is the same notes, but you could have an augmented unison, so which is one semitone, A to A sharp, or diminished, A to A flat, right? Some say a unison can be diminished. However, assuming an interval can go backwards, we could have a diminished unison, right? So you see how then, in theory, of course, theories are theories, so you can do pretty much all you want. Okay, so now a major second can be major, minor, augmented, diminished. So major second is 2 semitones, so or a whole tone. C to D is a major second. Minor second is 1 semitone. So starting from C, it's 1 semitone, but it's not C sharp, right? Because C sharp is a augmented unison, right? Or an augmented octave if it's a C sharp higher up, right? So must be, even if it's a semitone of distance, must be called D flat. Then a diminished second is 0 semitones. Now this is an example of C D double flat, and this is not a unison. because the name makes it a second, makes it a diminished second. Okay? And I forgot to add augmented seconds. There you go, look at that. Like, we're gonna change the course together. Augmented second will be what? A semitone bigger than major. Okay? So, 3 semitones. 3 semitones. Okay, so basically 1.5 tones. Yeah. Example. C. It's a second, so we must call it D. Right, CD was major, so it'll be, or CD, there are 2 semitones, we need 3. So C, C sharp, D, D sharp. There you go, perfect. Right, quickly, you got the gist of it. Third, major third is 2 tones, minor third is 3 semitones, or 1.5 tones. Well, same as an augmented second, right? But again, C, D sharp is an augmented second. If we call that C, E, because it's a third, but C, E, if you look at the keyboard again, C, oops, I lost the, where is it? I'm on C3, there you go. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 semitones, 2 tones, okay? So we wanted a minor third, so 3 semitones, but we have to call it he. So 1, 2, so we're gonna call it E flat. Okay, these black keys both D sharp and E flat. Okay, so a minor third is A C, or also C E sharp. You see how 3 semitones, so 1 point, keep getting the wrong brackets. Cool. So 1.5 tones, same as an augmented second, but a second is a second and a third is a third. Like, just look again at the name. Okay, a diminished third is 2 semitones, 1 tone, so same as a minor, same as a major second, right? It's a tone, but it's not. It's a tone, but we call it a third, so must be from F, must be an A, and then we double flat, so A flat, double flat. Okay, so from F is a tone, 2 semitones, but we call it F A double flat. Okay, a diminished third, and so on and so forth. Fifths and sixths, 4.5 tones, C A. There's an axiom here. Okay. When reversing an interval, the reverse is of the opposite type. This only applies to intervals that can be major or minor. When we reverse a major interval, we'll find a minor interval. CA is a major 6, but if we flip it to AC, it becomes a minor third, right? Perfect intervals remain perfect when flipped. A perfect fifth becomes a perfect fourth. And vice versa. We can say and vice versa. I like changing the course as I talk to you. Okay, with a dash, fine. Okay, now as you learn this, try also to internalize, find, on the instrument, if you're also learning an instrument, might not be the case, but try and find famous songs that have these intervals. Okay, so like a 6 CA. Does that remind you of anything? It's a really old opera tune, but or a fifth. Was it like Jurassic Park or something? Okay, here you got a fifth. So C to G. It's going down, but that's a fifth. Up a fourth, perfect fourth to C. So here you have basically an octave, C, C, a fifth, a fourth. An octave is Over the Rainbow. Etc., etc. That's a major 7, C to B. Yeah, just try, see if you can find famous melodies that use these. Try to match intervals to famous melodies. That's better. Okay, that's it. Good luck with the test, and see you soon.